Hello. Hi. Welcome. Hi, floating. Hi, Harris. Hi, Alex. Welcome. Okay. I have a little surprise for you guys. It's a new item, you could say. A new friend. There's my cat with me today. So cute. Wow. Say hi to Mentina. She joined us. Huh? Meow meow. He's cute. I had to fix like the eyes. I'm pretty sure like if I go here and then I go in left 2D and then I get like here configure, there it is, because I'm pretty sure can I like no, oh I can't set. Oh well, no glowing eyes for my cat. Well, she can stay here between my boba. Welcome, Matt. Hello, how are you? Welcome, guys. Welcome to everybody. I'm very sorry for not being able to stream yesterday. I've been a bit busy with working, stayed up until late basically. 1 second. Gotta disconnect a cable. But yeah, tonight we will be talking a bit and then I'll read a couple more Lovecraft stories if that's fine with you. But I'm happy that I could stream. I'll try to stay like 2 hours at least. And boy, tonight is a great night because it's not hot outside. Very happy about that. Also, if you haven't already, you should go on TikTok and watch my clips because I've started using it again since it's like great for reach and a good way to build my platform outside of Twitch, which is very much needed due to Twitch terrible discoverability. I'll link you my TikTok. Also, I do funny videos. Make sure to comment them because the TikTok algorithm also is not the best. It's like Instagram, where it boosts only those videos that have a lot of interactions, which kinda sucks. But yeah, how are you guys doing in this fine day? Hello Rizal, welcome. How are you? I started a little bit earlier because everybody's asleep and I thought I could use some more time on my hands, you know. Doing super fine, thank you for asking. Today we have a special guest, Mentina, my cat. Look at her. I hope that you will appreciate her being here as much as I do. No. Mm. Oh no, the tracking. Since the latest iOS update, my tracking hasn't been working properly. And before I was able to like do blam with my mouth closed, but now I can't anymore, and it's kinda bothering me. Maya! Maya, hello! Hello, Maya! How are you? Nam. I'm Imna Senpai. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Welcome. If you blink, the cat blinks too. Yes. It's a little neat item that I rigged for myself in like half an hour. So my cat could be here and keep us company. You know? Isn't she the cutest? Hello, Niedo. Welcome, welcome. How are you? I can give her red pets. She's a bit dumb, and maybe she will come here and say hi to everybody in the microphone like yesterday. 2 days ago, actually. But hello to everybody again. It's a great evening, and I have to remember to not get too close to the microphone unless I whisper like this, very close to your ear. Hello. Hi. Give me all your bread. Thank you. Appreciate it. We like bread here. I want bread. Ooh, it's a great trigger word, actually. Bread. 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 I love bread. I eat bread every day. Bread is so tasty. Better than blood. Bread. Tasty. Oh, actually, I can try doing the heartbeat thing again. Also, wait. The mouth open is a bit sus. Okay, as I said earlier, Lovecraft. Okay, I'll be waiting for a few more people to join before reading. So like, if there's anybody that comes like after midnight, they won't lose the Lovecraft stories, because I know that my ASMR usually starts later, and I don't want like people to, you know, miss the stories, because I started the stream earlier than usual. Okay, tonight we're gonna read The Hound and The Rats in the Wolves, which is one of the stories that I remember better. It's kind of long, if I remember correctly, but not too long, which I think it's, you know, perfect for tonight. I think I will also have to refill my water bottle, because it's kinda empty. I've drank a lot, like a lot. So I need to refill it. Because again, guys, hydrating is important. Isn't there rats in the walls divided in chapters too? It's just a long story. Wait, why is the hound divided in two parts when it's like the shortest of the two? LGN TV, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. One second. Where's my... I lost the thing that I use for like keeping the pages in the book. Hello. Welcome, raiders. Welcome. Let me introduce myself. Hello, I am Hanzo, a vampire queen, and I have a very smooth brain. I'm Italian. I love reading Lovecraft and doing ASMR, so I kinda took the both things and made it in one thing. So welcome to our nightly Lovecraft stories reading. Today with me there's my cat, Mentina. You might hear her from time to time meowing in the distance when she wants attention. And welcome. Becas, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Nighttime is... Hello, Shrexy. And hi. How do you want me to call you? Because those are a lot of it. Of barcode. Oh, okay. I completely missed the name. Bye, Mooker. Please tell me that at least I read that one right. Hello, welcome. When you eat a lot of food? No, I hate when people like make loud noises when they eat. So I won't be eating food on like a live stream, because it would annoy me because I have to hear myself. I do reading mostly, and whispering, and soft speaking. Sometimes I scratch the mic. Sometimes I move my bottle of water, which is constantly empty. Yeah, mukbang are kind of different thing. They started as like a trend in Korea for people that eat alone, but like they can be ASMR. As long as you don't look at Nico Avocado videos, those are like not what mukbang should be. But yes, I got to drink water. Wait a second. Volpo, hello. Hello, Volpo. Okay, drink water. It's okay, Volpo, don't worry. I started streaming earlier than usual. Otaku Puppy, welcome. Cool ASMR like those eating videos. Why is everybody thinking about mukbang? Am I the only one that don't watch them? Oh, Incubus, hello! I'm back, my brain died for a bit. It's okay, don't worry. Welcome. In about 10 minutes, we'll be reading Lovecraft. So, like, I want to wait for midnight like a good vampire, because horror stories are scarier after midnight. And I would also like to know where I placed my thingy. Did I throw it away by accident? No, it can't be. then where did I put it? Is it... maybe it's in the book and I'm just dumb? No. I would see it. Oop. Houston, we have a problem. Yes, I am stronger than Morbius though. There it is. Here's the meme. My life's never been the same after that meme came out. Everybody come here and make some Morbius jokes. And it was funny the first couple of times. But now I kinda wanna cry. I'm joking, obviously, though. Don't worry. At least people don't call me an elf anymore. I guess that's improvement. Had a bottle of wine and watched it yesterday. Is it as bad as people say? Because I've been reading some reviews. I didn't even know it came out, to be honest, before the meme. Oh, I see. Is it worth watching it out of spite? Or am I just fading into the sequel that will probably spawn due to all the memes? I had to drink a whole bottle for it to be good. Damn, that's a lot. Okay, wait, maybe my book page saver fell down. Let me look. Okay, I'm stupid, but I can't be this stupid. I had it in my hands 10 seconds ago. How did it disappear? Bros, my piece of paper disappeared. In the nothingness. 1 second it was there and now gone forever. Let me grab something else because I don't want to lose the pages. Where was it? I don't even have a piece of paper. How am I supposed to I am such a disaster. Wait, I'll be right back. Okay, I got a piece of paper. Oh, Gimme Kevin, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. And welcome also to the live stream. I just noticed Mentina. Reynolds 3M456. Welcome, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Watch it with friends? Oh. I'll watch it with my boyfriend then. I will force him to. I'll propose the movie to him as if it's a good watch, and then I'll get him and he won't be able to say no because I will be saying, oh, I heard good things, and then I'll try to trick him into watching it with me. Okay. before that, just remember I wanted to do one thing because I have like an image that I downloaded, but it didn't have like a transparent background. So now I have to put a transparent background so I can use it in my streams. Let me find the folder. I have like a lot of folders, way too many. No, wait, it's here. No. Yes. No. I'm in the wrong folder. There it is. So it's here. Yeah, it's here. Nice. And it's in. Oh, okay, it's this one. And okay, yes. Wait a second. I need to. Okay. So if I do this and then I do this, then I select this, and then I go with like selection, invert, and just CMV. Then whoop. Pa. Then I save it. Is a PNG possible? Okay. Okay. SAS folder. No, it's not a SAS folder. Aljian, thank you so much again for the raid, and thank you so much again. Yeah. Have a good night. Bye bye. See you again soon. Okay, I should have like here somewhere the book, I think. No, wait. Heck. Hello, Papa. Welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Being informed about being live. Yes. Hello, Kara. Hand salutes. No hand salutes. Only say so. I can't find. Okay, so I downloaded the Necronomicon image for like the stories, and I can't find it in the items for some reason, and I'm sad because I think I know why it doesn't show, but it's very frustrating because now I have to open like again all of the folders to go into the VTuber studio folder. Let me close this and go into the data and the assets, and then into the like drag and drop items, and I don't know why it didn't save, but there it is. Yes, book. I am a Caesar. Come on, Volpo. I'm very Caesar and age appropriate. Okay, I'll put Mentina here and the Necronomicon here in my hands, sort of like here. Okay. remind me to stretch, Papa. What was the TikTok thing about fucking? I was trying to say fuck yous, come on, that's not... There it is, I said it wrong again. Okay, it's like in English, focus is the same pronunciation as in Italian. I have to remember that. Same thing as furry. I keep on messing like the accent. It's not my fault. I'm not a native English speaker, you know. It's not my fault. If I messed up sometimes a couple of words, you know. Try my best here. Come on, be nice with the little vampire. Come on. Come on. It was intentional drop. Dang. I fell right into it, didn't I? I am very safe, so come on. Oh, the pop sound was my chair. Guys, I'm safe, I promise. I promise you all I am. Look at me. I am so safe. You say, come on. I know that when I say that I want to sack you, it sounds a bit compromising, you know? But I mean your blood. Nothing else, just your blood. Your sweet, sweet vital essence. The red one. Because, you know, always gotta specify with you all. I am Siso. I'm very Siso. Don't make it look weird, okay? Don't make it weird. I'm Siso. Okay. That's it. I think it's time for our Lovecraft story. Moved my mic a little bit, so let me know. What a warm voice. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Icarus. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Yes, Lovecraft. We've read, I think, so far 5 stories? No, more. I think more. Oh, let me know if like the background is too loud, so I can make it less loud. Make it okay. I think you should be fine now, the audio, I mean. So vampires are kinda rare. Yeah, that's true. I can't say anything against that one. Okay, so we have read so far 1, 2, 3. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stories. 8. We are at the Hound. Also we're like halfway through this book. With stories, I mean, because there are gonna be some longer stories in the middle of it. Mainly the Shadow over Innsmouth, which I think is the longest one in the book. Next End Gamer, hello, welcome back. Sisu means like pure and innocent. I am very pure and innocent. You guys are not allowed to say that I am not, by the way. Oh, Marcy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Okay, if everybody's ready, I can start reading Lovecraft. Anybody has an objection to that? I'll wait for like 5 seconds. If I get no objections, and if I get an objection, I will just ignore it and go on with the reading. It's my stream after all. Okay, nobody objected. Ulpo, Kara, I see your messages and I will ignore them. Ara, welcome. Yeah, hello. Just in time for the Lovecraft story. It's called The Hound. I will mess up a lot of words, so I apologize for that. I'm not used to reading out loud, so it's kind of practice for me. But without further ado, let's go. In my tortured years, there sounds unceasingly nightmare, whirring and flapping, and faint, distant baying, as of some gigantic hound. It is not dream. It is not, I fear, even madness, for too much has already happened to give me these merciful doubts. St. John is a mangled corpse. I alone know why, and such is my knowledge that I am about to blow out my brains, for I fear I shall be mangled in the same way. Down a lit and illimitable corridors of eldritch fantasy sweep the black, shapeless nemesis that drives me to self-annihilation. I'm doing fine, Nara, thank you for asking. How are you? Hello, Will Jack, welcome. Just in time for the story we just started. May heaven forgive the folly morbidly which led us both to some monstrous fate. Wearied with the commonplaces of a prosaic world, where even the joys of romance and adventure soon grow stale, St. John and I had followed enthusiastically every aesthetic and intellectual movement which promised respite for our devastating ennui. The enigmas of the symbolists and the ecstasies of the pre-Raphaelites all were ours in their time, but each new mood was drained too soon of its diverting novelty and appeal. Only the sombre philosophy of the decadence could hold us, and this we found potent only by increasing gradually the depth and diabolism of our penetrations. Baudelaire and the Heismans were soon exhausted of thrills, till finally there remained for us only the more direct stimuli of unnatural personal experiences and adventures. It was this frightful emotional need which led us eventually to that detestable curse which even in my present fear I mention with shame and timidity. That hideous extremity of a human outrage, the abhorrent practice of grave robbing. I cannot reveal the details of our shocking expeditions, or catalogue every partly the worst of the trophies adorning the nameless museum we prepared in the great stone house where we jointly dwelt, alone and servantless. Our museum was a blasphemous, unthinkable place, where with the satanic taste of neurotic virtuosi we had assembled an universe of terror and decay to excite our jaded sensibilities. It was a secret room, far, far underground, where huge winged demons carving of basalt, where huge winged demons carving of basalt, demons carving. Let's go on. And onyx vomited from white grinning mouths weird green and orange light, and hidden pneumatic pipes ruffled into kaleidoscopic dances of death the lines of red charnel things hand in hand, woven in voluminous black hangings. Through these pipes came a thrill the others our moods most craved. Sometimes the scent of pale funeral lilies, sometimes the narcotic incense of imagined eastern shrines of the kindly dead, and sometimes, how I shudder to recall it, the frightful, soul-upheaving stenches of the uncovered grave. Around the walls of this repellent chamber were cases of antique mummies alternating with comely, lifelike bodies perfectly stuffed and cured by the taxidermist art, and which headstones snatched from the oldest churchyards of the world. Niche here and there contained skulls of all shapes, and heads preserved in various stages of dissolution. There one might find the rotting, bald pates of famous noblemen, and the fresh and radiantly golden heads of new buried children. Statues and paintings there were, all of fiendish subjects, and some executed by Saint John and myself. A locked portfolio, bound in tanned human skin, held certain unknown and unnameable drawings which it was rumored Goya had perpetrated, but dare not acknowledge. There were nauseous musical instruments, stringed, brass, and woodwind, on which St. John and I sometimes produced dissonances of exquisite morbidity and cacodemonical ghastliness, whilst in a multitude of inlaid ebony cabinets reposed the most incredible and unimaginable variety of tomb loot ever assembled by human madness and passivity. Preserved heads like pickled jars. Tasty. I hope they have a lot of blood in it. It is of this loot in particular that I must not speak. Thank God I had the courage to destroy it long before I thought of destroying myself. The perpetrator excursions on which we collected our unmentionable treasures were always artistically memorable events. We were no vulgar gulls, but worker only under certain conditions of mood, landscape, environment, weather, season, and moonlight. These pastimes were to us the most exquisite form of aesthetic expressions, and we gave their details a fastidious technical care. So basically, like, they only went when at like 2 a.m. and 15 minutes, only if the sky was completely covered by clouds, and if moonlight shined at the right of the tomb, they were gonna disagree. Sounds like those were like the details and conditions of when they went there. Those characters kinda picky with their hobby, not gonna lie. Like, if I was a grave robber, I would just rob graves whenever. Like, what's the point of waiting for the perfect time, perfect weather, perfect tomb? I don't fucking know. Like, what if the lighting is a little bit off? Like, would this stop me from robbing a grave? If that was my hobby? I don't think so. Like, it doesn't matter. Just go and rob the fucking grave. Hello, Deku, welcome. We're reading Lovecraft, if you're wondering what you just entered into. I'm not gonna rob graves in real life, I promise. I promise. Pinky promise. Vampires don't drink that man's blood. After all, it's kinda useless. But let's go on. An inappropriate hour, a jarring lighting effect, or a clumsy manipulation of the damp sod would almost totally destroy for us that ecstatic titillation, which followed the exhumation of some ominous, grinning secret of the earth. So yeah, like they ain't grave robbing if the lighting's off. I see, I see. Our quest for novel scenes and piquant conditions was feverish and insatiate. St. John was always the leader, and he it was who led the way at last to that mocking, that accursed spot, which brought us our hideous and inevitable doom. Interesting. Tell me more. By what malign fatality were we lured to that terrible hole in churchyard? I think it was the dark rumor and legendary, the tales of one buried for 5 centuries, who had himself been a ghoul in his time and had stolen a potent thing from a mighty sepulchre. I can recall the scene in these final moments. The pale autumnal moon over the graves, casting long horrible shadows, the grotesque trees, drooping sullenly to meet the neglected grass and the crumbling slabs, the vast legion of strangely colossal bats that flew against the moon, the antique ivy's church, pointing a huge spectral finger at the livid sky, the phosphorescent insects that dance like death fires under the eaves in a distant corner, the odors of mould, vegetation, and less explicable things that mingled feebly with the night wind from over the far swamps and seas, and, worst of all, the faint, deep-toned baying of some gigantic hound, which we could neither see nor definitely place. As we heard this suggestion of baying, we shuddered, remembering the tales of peasantry, for he almost saw that centuries before being found in this self-same spot, torn and mangled by the claws and teeth of some unspeakable beast. Corpses do look better in moonlight. Do they? Could I have the perfect setting to just get lost in and keep as a memory? Oh yeah. Like, can you imagine robbing a grave and like saying to your friend, yes, the weather yesterday was perfect. You had to see how the moon was shining on that like, that skeleton. Yes. The bones were so white. The reflections of the moons and stars like chef kiss. Great memories. I mean, do what makes you happy, I guess. I wouldn't want to rob a grave, honestly. Well, Paul. Oh, come on. I'm gonna bonk you. No horny, Volpo, no horny. Okay? Let's go on. We were at the scary part, and I was able to ruin the mood somehow. I remembered how we delved into Skull's grave with our spades, and how we thrilled at the picture of ourselves, the grave, the pale watching moon, the horrible shadows, the grotesque trees, the titanic bats, the antique church, the dancing death fires, the sickening odors, the gently moaning night wind, and the strange, half-heard, directionless baying. Oh, wait, what the fuck? It's raining. Oh shit, wait a second. I have to close my bedroom window before it rains inside. BRB. didn't expect rain, I'll be honest. Let me check if it like oh yeah, it's raining. So weird. Okay, let's go back. The moonlight just glistens off the rooted eyes. Amazing memory. Can't forget that one. Gotta keep it with me forever. Okay. Let's resume the story, shall we? Then we struck a substance harder than the dead mold, and beheld the rotting oblong box, crusted with mineral deposits from the long undisturbed ground. It was incredibly tough and thick, but so old that we finally pried it open and feasted our eyes on what it held. Much, amazingly much, was left on the object, despite the lapse of 500 years. The skeleton, though crushed in places by the jaws of the thing that killed it, held together with surprising firmness, and we gloated over the clean white skull and its long firm teeth and its eyeless sockets that once had glowed with a charnel fever like our own. In the coffin lay an amulet of curious and exotic design, which had apparently been worn around the sleeper's neck. It was It was the oddly conventionalized figure of a crouching winged hound, or sphinx with a semi-canning face, and was exquisitely carved in antique oriental fashion from a small piece of green jade. The expression on its features was repellent in the extreme, savoring at once of death, bestiality, and malevolence. Around the base was an inscription in characters which neither St. John nor I could identify. And on the bottom, like a maker's seal, was graven a grotesque and formidable skull. Immediately upon beholding this amulet, we knew that we must possess it, that its treasure alone was our logical path from the centuried grave. Even had its outlines been unfamiliar, we would have deserted, but as we looked more closely, we saw that it was not wholly unfamiliar. Alien it indeed was to all art and literature which sane and balanced readers know, but we recognized it as a thing hinted in the forbidden Necronomicon of the mad Arab Abdul al-Azred, the ghastly soul symbol of the corpse-sitting cult of inaccessible Lang in Central Asia. All too well did we trace the sinister lineaments described by the old Arab demonologist, lineaments, he wrote, drawn from some obscure supernatural manifestation of the soul of those who vexed and gnawed at the dead. Seizing the green jade object, we gave a last glance at the bleached and carbon-eyed face of its owner and closed up the grave as we found it. As we hastened from that abhorrent spot, the stolen amulet in St. John's pocket, we thought we saw the bats descend in a body to the earth we had so lately refolded, as if seeking for some curse and unholy nourishment. But the autumn moon shone weak and pale, and we could not be sure. So too, as we sailed the next day away from Holland to our home, we thought we heard the faint distant baying of some gigantic hound in the background. But the autumn wind moaned sad and won, and we could not be sure. Less than a week after our return to England, strange things began to happen. We lived as recluses, devoid of friends, alone and without servants in a few rooms of an ancient manor house on a bleak and unfrequented moor, so that our doors were seldom disturbed by the knock of the visitor. Now, however, we were troubled by what seemed to be frequent fumbling in the night, not only around the doors, but around the windows also, upper as well as lower. Once we fancied that the large, opaque body darkened the library window when the moon was shining against it. Another time we thought we heard a whirring or flapping sound not far off. On each occasion, investigation revealed nothing, and we began to ascribe the occurrences to imagination alone. The same curiously disturbed imagination which still prolonged in our ears the faint far baying we thought we had heard in the Holland churchyard. The jade amulet now reposed in a niche in our museum, and sometimes we burned strangely scented candles before it. We read Machinal's rides in Necronomicon about its prosperities and about the relation of Gaul souls to the objects it symbolized, and were disturbed by what we read. Then the terror came. On the night of September 24, 19, redacted, I heard a knock at my chamber door. Fancying it St. John's, I bade the knocker enter, but was answered only by a shrill laugh. There was no one in the corridor. When I roused St. John from his sleep, he professed entire ignorance of the event and became as worried as I. It was that night that the faint, distant baying over the moon became to us a certain and dreaded reality. 4 days later, whilst we were both in the hidden museum, there came a low, cautious scratching at a single door which led to the secret library staircase. Our alarm was now divided, for besides our fear for the unknown, we had always entertained a dread that our grisly collection might be discovered. Extinguishing all lights, we proceeded to the door and threw it suddenly open, whereupon we felt an unaccountable rush of air and heard, as if receding far away, a queer combination of rustling, tittering, and articulate chatter. Whether we were mad, dreaming, or in our senses, we did not try to determine. We only realized, with the blackest of apprehension, that the apparently disembodied chatter was beyond a doubt in the Dutch language. After that, we lived in growing horror and fascination. Mostly we held to the theory that we were jointly going mad from our life of unnatural excitements, but sometimes it pleased us more to dramatize ourselves as the victims of some creeping and appalling doom. Bizarre manifestations were not too frequent to count. Our lonely house was seemingly alive with the presence of some malign being whose nature we could not guess, and every night that demoniac baying rolled over the wind-swept moor, always louder and louder. On October 29, we found in the soft earth underneath the library window a series of footprints utterly impossible to describe. They were as baffling as the hordes of great bats which haunted the old manor house in unprecedented and increasing numbers. Sleepy trees, welcome! Hello, how are you? We're reading Lovecraft. Welcome, welcome. The horror reached a culmination on November 18th, when St. John, walking home after dark from the distant railway station, was seized by some frightful carnivorous thing and turned to ribbons. His screams had reached the house, and I had hastened to the terrible scene in time to hear a whir of wings and see a fog-black cloudy thing silhouetted against the rising moon. My friend was dying when I spoke to him, and he could not answer coherently, All he could do was whisper, "The amulet! The damn thing!" Then he collapsed, an inert mass of mangled flesh. Then go back to sleep, full Pokemon. It means that my job was working. Get comfy. I'll get you sleeping again. I promise. I buried him the next midnight in one of our neglected gardens, and mumbled over his body one of the devilish rituals he had loved in life. And as I pronounced the last demoniac sentence, I heard afar on the moor the faint baying of some gigantic hound. Okay, my cat might have thrown something on the ground, but I can't see her. I got distracted 1 sec. Let me get back to where I was. Okay. The moon was up, but I dared not look at it. And when I saw on the dim-lit moor a white nebulous shadow sweeping from mound to mound, I shut my eyes and threw myself face down upon the ground. When I arose trembling, I know not how much later, I staggered into the house and made shocking obeisances before the enshrined amulet of green jade. Being now afraid to live alone in the ancient house of the moor, I departed on the following day for London, taking with me the amulet after destroying by fire and buried the rest of the impious collection in the museum. But after 3 nights I heard the baying again, and before a week was over felt strange eyes upon me whenever it was dark. One evening, as I strolled on Victoria Embankment for some needed air, I saw a black shape obscure one of the reflections of the lamps in the water. A wind stronger than the night wind rushed by, and I knew that what had befallen St. John must soon befall me. The next day I carefully wrapped the green jade amulet and sailed for Holland. What mercy I might gain by returning that thing to its silent, sleeping owner I knew not, but I felt that I must at least try any step conceivably logical. What the hound was and why it pursued me were questions still vague, but I had first heard the baying in that ancient churchyard, and every subsequent event, including St. John's dying whisper, had served to connect the curse with the stealing of the amulet. Accordingly, I sank into the nethermost abysses of despair, when, at an inn in Rotterdam, I discovered that thieves had despoiled me of this sole means of salvation. The baying was loud in the evening, and in the morning I read of a nameless deed in the vilest quarter of the city. The rebels were in terror, for upon an evil tenement had fallen a red death beyond the foulest previous crime of the neighborhood. In a squalid thieves' den, an entire family had been torn to shreds by an unknown thing which left no trace, and those around had heard all night, above the usual clamor of drunken voices, a faint, deep, insistent note as of a gigantic hound. So at last I stood again in that unwholesome churchyard where a pale winter moon cast hideous shadows, and leafless trees drooped sullenly to meet the withered, frosty grass and cracking slabs, and the ivy church pointing a jeering finger at the unfriendly sky, and the night wind howled magically from over frozen swamps and frigid seas. The baying was very faint now, and it ceased altogether as I approached the ancient grave I had once violated, and frightened away an abnormally large horde of bats which had been hovering curiously around it. I know not why I went thither unless to pray, or gibber out in saint pleas and apologize to the calm white thing that lay within, but whatever my reason, I attacked the half-frozen sod with a desperation partly mine and partly that of a dominating will outside myself. Excavation was much easier than I expected, though at one point I encountered a queer interruption when a lean vulture darted down out of the cold sky and pecked frantically at the grave earth until I killed him with a blow of my spade. Finally, I reached the rotting oblong box and removed the damp nitrous cover. This is the last rational act I ever performed. For crouched within that centured coffin, embraced by a close-packed nightmare retinue of huge, sinewy, sleeping bats, was the bony thing my friend and I had robbed. Not clean and placid as we had seen it then, but covered with caked blood and shreds of alien flesh and hair, and leering sentiently at me with phosphorescent sockets and sharp, ensanguined fangs, yawning twistedly in mockery of my inevitable doom. And when it gave from those grinning jaws a deep, sardonic bay as of some gigantic hound, and I saw that it held in its gory, filthy claws the lost and fitful amulet of green jade, I merely screamed and ran away idiotically, my screams soon dissolving into peals of hysterical laughter. Madness rides the star wind, claws and teeth sharpened on centuries of corpses, dripping death astride a bacchanal of bats from night-black ruins of buried temples of Belial. Now, as the baying of that dead, fleshless monstrosity grows louder and louder, and the stealthy whirring and flapping of those accursed web wings circles closer and closer, I shall seek with my revolver the oblivion which is my only refuge from the unnamed and unnameable. And this is the end of the Hound story. Hello Papa, welcome back, and welcome back to Icarus 2. I will drink a little sip because my throat is kinda dry. Water. I'll also stretch as requested. How are you saying my name? Oh, it's so sweet. Yes, my hunchback. I have shrimp posture at this point. When you're a gamer, you don't know how to sit right in your chair. That's how it is. Okay, I'm done stretching. Okay. Phone. Oh, it was falling down. Okay, let me put on some music. Well, ambience. Okay. Some haunted manor ambience. It's too loud, wait a second. Okay. Please let me know if the ambience is too loud compared to my voice. I think I found the sweet spot. Okay. So we have our next story, which is The Rats in the Walls. It's a pretty famous one, I think. Well, I mean, I've read almost all of the Lovecraft stories at least once. Well, yeah, I've read them all once, I guess. Ooh, it's a bit long. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages, so like 20 pages. Do you like Edgar Allan Poe? I do. I have several books of both Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. Actually, let me pull up. I have a little collection of books that I buy. Let me show you guys. I'll pull up. Pull up the Amazon link. This collection, which has like almost all of its stories, it doesn't have the poems, but okay. Browser, okay, this is like the book cover. It's an Italian. I don't know if there's like the same collection of books, if they're like, there's like an English or international version, but this is a book of a collection that I own, and it has 2 different Lovecraft books with all of the stories, and I have a lot of them. I have Dracula also of this collection. I have Sherlock Holmes. I have a few more stories that aren't like horror stories. They're like female stories, like the classics too, and they're like huge. They're huge books, and I love them. They have like beautiful covers, and I collect them. I read them all because I love reading, and yeah, I'm a huge nerd when it comes to books. Dude spent over hours only opening a door so no one would hear him. Yeah, that's me. Relatable. I don't have, unfortunately, English stories of Edgar Allan Poe. Let me go on Amazon Global though. Let me add it to my wish list. The future. I also wanted to get like a book with all Lovecraft stories in English all together, because the one that I'm reading right now doesn't have all of them. There's just like a small collection. Oh, there it is. The complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Why does the one with the flexible cover cost double of the one with the rigid cover? What, really? Well, it's in my throne now. almost like needs to load. Books. There it is. Okay, now it's in my wish list. Now it's there. Yay! The sad part is that like a friend of mine bought me a plushie through Throne, but like I have to refund her because the order got lost since it came from like a store in China, I believe. But another friend got me something through Amazon that came. It's a little cup heater. Yorichi, hello, welcome. It's so cute. It's like a cup heater, mug heater, and it's shaped like a cat, and it's so cute. Like, actually, you can see it in the previous gifts. It's the cat mug warmer, and it's very pretty. Reminded me of my cat, and a friend bought it for me when it was my birthday. Yeah, it's adorable. Also, if you guys are streamers and are in need of a code for a throne, feel free to ask because I have 3 of them and I don't mind giving them away. Oh, also you can suggest me gifts if you want. My first language is Italian. Do you want me to briefly talk in Italian to hear my Italian accent? I don't mind. Oh wait, I have 2 invites, never mind. Well, still, not 3 but 2, still something, you know. What is Italian? I forgot. I guess Volpo. We ain't speaking Italian anytime soon. I think I'm actually speaking English sometimes, some days more than Italian, especially if I'm at home alone, because I stream. I was listening to stuff, yeah, same, because I want to get better at English, so instead of watching Italian content, I usually watch English content. But you know, Italian is fun. A couple of streams ago, someone in chat made me say tongue twisters, and there were a couple of Italian tongue twisters. Fun fact. I love Mentina. They really did a good job. Yum. Italian content, does it even exist, bruh? Yeah, but like, okay, before reading the next story, let me just say one thing. So, for those that are wondering, yes, there are Italian VTubers, but the Italian community, it's one of the worst I've ever seen. Like, that's the reason why I immediately decided that I didn't want to be an Italian streamer. Like, I've seen a lot of trolls. There are problems with like people targeting other people seemingly out of nowhere. Like, one of my friends, I'm not gonna say who, but like, he emotes for a lot of Italian streamers and he's getting targeted for no reason, like by like some people. And yeah, that's also, they're all Italian, the whole Italian community, and like, I'm watching the drama from afar because I'm not in the community myself, so like, I luckily do not have to deal with with this kind of content, but like, guys, trust me when I say that it's bad. Infinite Dark, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? The community is so and only toxic. Yeah, it's very toxic, unfortunately, because there are a lot of like good people in the Italian community. A lot of my friends that stream in Italian are very good people, and I love all of them, but like the community in general, most of the people involved, yeah, I would stay clear of them. First language is Spanish, so if I misspeak, my apologies. Don't worry. I'm not a native English speaker either, so Spanish community is also toxic, but you can find anything. Yet, Italian community is small still, so we kind of all know each other, and yeah, it's just like try to navigate into a toxic waste. That's how toxic it can get. But you know, then I can trying to stay chill when I interact with people that I don't know very well, that are like new in the community. I try to stay clear of drama or whatever, because yes, I'm Italian. Yes, I've met some people that are involved in drama, but I myself, I try to not get involved. Rodrigo, welcome. How are you? Yeah. I love the little wiggle on the end. Always funny to see. Okay. Mini rant closed. I think we can go back to regular Lovecraft stories. Okay, this is... oh wait. Oh, there's the whole story before the rats in the walls, you're telling me? Wait, what the fuck? Oh no, I was just holding the wrong page. Okay. Hello, Diavolo. Welcome. The rats in the walls. Oh, do you want me to make the background noise a little bit louder? I'll raise it a teeny tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay. Let's go. On July 16, 1923, I moved into Ixam Priory after the last workman had finished his labors. Let me get the mic closer. Yeah, I think like I already have a small community, and I love each and every single person that is in it. You guys are all so lovely and nice, and I love you all, and you all deserve all the love of this world and a kiss from me. Love you. You're the best, guys. The restoration had been a stupendous task, for little had remained of the deserted pile but a shell-like ruin. Yet, because it had been the seat of my ancestors, I let no expense deter me. The place had not been inhabited since the reign of James I, when a tragedy of intensely hideous, though largely unexplained nature, had struck down the master. 5 of his children and several servants, and driven forth under a cloud of suspicion and terror, the 3rd son, malignant progenitor and the only survivor of the abhorrent line. With his soul hired, denounced as a murderer, the state had reverted to the crown, nor had the accused man made any attempt to exculpate himself or regain his property. Shaken by some horror greater than that of conscience or the law, and expressing only a frantic wish to exclude the ancient edifice from his sight and memory, Walter de la Poe, 11th Baron Exham, fled to Virginia, and there founded a family which by the next century had become known as de la Poer. Exham Priory had remained untenanted, though later allotted to the estates of the Norris family and much studied because of its peculiarly composite architecture, an architecture involving Gothic towers resting on a Saxon or Romanesque substructure, whose foundation in turn was of a still earlier order of blend of orders, Roman and even Druidic or native Cymric, if legends speak truly. The foundation was a very singular thing, being merged on one side with the solid limestone of the precipice, from whose brink the priory overlooked the desolate valley 3 miles west of the village of Lancaster. Architects and antiquarians loved to examine this strange relic of forgotten centuries, but the country folk hated it. They had hated it hundreds of years before, when my ancestors lived there, and they hated it now, with the moss and mold of abandonment on it. I had not been a day in Lancaster before I knew I came of an accursed house. And these weak workmen have blown up Exham Priory, and are busy obliterating the traces of its foundation. The birth statistics of my ancestry I had always known, together with the fact that my first American forebear had come to the colonies under a strange cloud. Of details, however, I had been kept wholly ignorant through the policy of reticence always maintained by the de la Poers. Unlike our planet's neighbors, why did I reply? Unlike our planetary neighbors, we seldom boasted of crusading ancestors or rather medieval and Renaissance heroes. There was any kind of tradition handed down, except what may have been recorded in the sealed envelope left before the Civil War by every squire of his eldest son for posthumous opening. The glories we cherished were those achieved since the migration. The glories of a proud and honorable, if somewhat reserved and unsocial Virginia line. During the War of our Fortunes, it's getting a bit late and I can't read. Glad alive! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome raiders. How was your stream? Glad. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Hanzo-Chan, a vampire queen, and I have a very smooth brain, and I mainly do art and ASMR. Tonight we're reading Lovecraft stories and talking also a little bit between sentences. And hi, welcome. Glad thank you so much for the follow also. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How was your stream? Did you have fun? Were you streaming ASMR too? Nice and cozy. Nice. I have to blow my nose 1 second. Don't worry, I'm an ethical vampire. I only drink blood from people that give me consent. So, like, if any of you wants to be bitten, just say that. I'll do that. It's free food. I don't say no to free food. But yes, welcome. We just started reading very badly because keep on getting distracted. The Rats in the Wall. They're reading a compilation of Lovecraft stories, and we finished reading The Hound earlier. So I hope you guys like unfathomable horrors, aliens, sea creatures, monsters, death and murders, stuff like that, because this ain't your usual bedtime story. This is Lovecraft. As you can see, I have the Necronomicon with me and my cat companion by my side. Her name is Mentina. My favorite story is the picture on the wall. By far one of my favorites, even though I have a terrible Yankee accent, so when I had to read it out loud, I did my best, but failed completely, I think. I also love the color from Out of Space. It's a classic after all. And I think I don't want to like keep on listing things because I feel like I will never end listing all of the stories that I like. Yes, the picture on the wall. The picture in the house, sorry. In Italian it has a different title and I keep on mixing the two of them. Because in Italian it's called Il quadro sul muro, I think, if I remember correctly. Which translates to like literally the picture on the wall. But in English it's called the picture in the house. So like I do mix because my brain is smooth. Color of the Space should come in a couple more stories, and then it's its turn. But now we are trying to at least read The Rats in the Walls. Okay, let me resume. I think I lost where I was at. That's okay. The birth statistics of my ancestry I had always known, together with the fact that my first American forebear had come to the colonies under a strange cloud. Of details, however, I had been kept wholly ignorant through the policy of reticence always maintained by the Delaportes. Unlike our planter neighbors, we seldom boasted of crusading ancestors or other medieval and Renaissance heroes, nor was any kind of tradition handed down except what may have been recorded in the sealed envelope left before the Civil War by every squire to his eldest son for posthumous opening. The glories we cherished were those achieved since the migration, the glories of a proud and honorable, if somewhat reserved and unsocial Virginia line. During the war, our fortunes were extinguished and our whole existence changed by the burning of Carfax, our home on the banks of the James. My grandfather, advanced in years, had perished in that incendiary outrage, and with him the envelope that bound us all to the past. I can recall that fire today, and I saw it then at the age of 7, with the federal soldiers shouting, the women screaming, and then Africans howling and praying. Them touching the N-word. It should make a fucking drinking game out of that. POV, you're trying to read Lovecraft to your chat, but you keep on stumbling into slurs. Damn. Lovecraft, come on. Your stories are so good. Why did you have to be a little shit? Okay, let me resume. Sorry, I'm always afraid that I accidentally read them because I go fast. But I try to like stop myself before it's too late. Okay. My father was in the army defending Richmond, and after many formalities, my mother and I were passed through the lines to join him. When the war ended, we all moved north, whence my mother had come, and I grew to manhood, middle age, and ultimate wealth as a stolid Yankee. Neither my father nor I ever knew what our hereditary envelope had contained, and as I merged into the grayness of Massachusetts business life, I lost all interest in the mysteries which evidently lurked far back in my family tree. Had I suspected their nature, how gladly I would have left Ixam Priory to its moss, bats, and cobwebs. Yeah, his cat. It's... You can't even say anything, like... He was so racist. Such a great mind, was also such a little shitty. Damn, Lovecraft. You weird guy. I say weird because it's like one of the facts that I don't think a lot of people know. But he was a believer of science, and so like he followed what science said. When science said before he died that everybody was the same regardless of its skin, of the color of the skin, he was like, oh, okay, guess I was wrong, and changed his mind, and then he died. So we'll never know how things would have gotten, but like it's funny to me that it took science to tell him that maybe he was wrong and not his own rationality, you know. But it is what it is. In America, times were very bad, so I can kinda see why he was thinking that way, but it's not a justification. He's still a little shit, as far as I think about him personally. His stories, very good. His beliefs, not that much. You ever read the King in Yellow stories? They were written earlier than Lovecraft, but have the same vibe without the slurs. No, I haven't. Wait, before continuing, let me look. Like, you know, it's in Italian it's easier to avoid the slurs because the translations don't have them. So like sometimes I forget how much racist he really was. Oh, so that's where Cthulhu's son spawned. Isn't it That looks like Hastur. Oh wait, he is the king in yellow. Wait, what the fuck? I always thought he was like a Lovecraft creation. Isn't it like in the Lovecraft universe? Oh yeah, it's only mentioned. It was a creation of Ambrose Bierce, whose short story Haita the Shepherd describes Astur as a god of shepherds. I didn't know it spawned from like a different author. I thought it was a Lovecraft character. Well, I will read those stories. I'm interested. Good to know. Good to know. Because I was so sure. Oh yeah, he gets mentioned. He stole a character basically. Damn, that's such a steal. Everybody thinks it comes from his stories. Unless you're very cultured. Now I am very cultured. I will give them a read. Thank you for bringing the stories to my attention. The old sign and all that was later incorporated into the mythos, but is a bit older. I will read them. Maybe when I finish the Lovecraft book. My father died in 1904, but without any message to leave me, or to my only child, Alfred, a motherless boy of 10. It was this boy who reversed the order of family information, for although I could give him only jesting conjectures about the past, he wrote me of some very interesting ancestral legends when the late war took him to England in 1917 as an aviation officer. Apparently, the Delapores had a colorful and perhaps sinister history, for a friend of my son's, Captain Edward Norris of the Royal Flying Corps, dwelt near the family seat at Manchester and related some peasant superstitions which new novelties could equal for wildness and incredibility. Norris himself, of course, did not take them seriously, but they amused my son and made good material for his letters to me. It was this legendary which definitely turned my attention to my transatlantic heritage and made me resolve to purchase and restore the family seat, which Norris shewed to Alfred in its picturesque desertion, and offered to get for him at a surprisingly reasonable figure, since his own uncle was the present owner. No maidens? No, I have a lot of maidens. I have tons of wives. Like a lot of wives. I have a harem of wives, actually. Do you want me to call them on just live stream? I'll look at them. I'll look at my wives. 1 second. If they're not sleeping, one may come. All the wives, yes. The entire harem would totally not dominate the thrall wives. No, they are really my wives. I have a lot of wives. Like you don't imagine how many wives I got. There's Lily, there's Nizi, there's Mayu. I have a lot of wives. There are 3, but there's more. Riri also is a waifu. Got a lot of wives, guys. Promise you. They're all married. They hold hands. Got a lot of maidens. Oh wait, I got a message. 1 second. Wait. Okay. Oh, by the way, I think I'll go a bit earlier tonight because I still kinda wanna work. So I'll read a couple more pages and then we can read someone. Guess all of my wives are asleep though. Sedge. Can't flex my harem. Kinda sad. I'm joking. Don't wanna flex the wives. Don't need to. Okay, wait. At what part of the page was I? At ankle. I remember I read ankle somewhere. Pretty sure. People flying aviation. There's a wolfie. Oh, there it is. Found it. I bought exam priori in 1918, but was almost immediately distracted from my plans of restoration by the return of my son, as a maimed invalid. Okay guys, don't come here and spam though. Okay? Because I will delete the messages. It's reading time, so get your asses set on the couch or in the bed. No, shut. We're reading horror stories. You gotta sit and chill and listen to the story. I ain't doing challenges when it's Lovecraft time. We're in the middle of a fucking reading session, okay? It's sleepy time. You gotta go to bed. Okay, good. Now grab some water and listen. During the 2 years that he lived, I thought of nothing but his car, having given place in my business under the direction of partners. In 1921, as I found myself bereaved and aimless, a retired manufacturer no longer young, I resolved to divert my remaining years with my new possession. Visiting Manchester in December, I was entertained by Captain Norris, a plump, amiable young man who had thought much of my son and secured assistance in gathering plans and anecdotes to guide in the coming restoration. Exam Priory itself, as without emotion, a jumble of tottering medieval ruins covered with lichens and honeycombed with rook's nest, perched perilously upon a precipice, and I knew that the floors or other interior features saved the stone walls of the separate towers. As I gradually recovered the image of the edifice as it had been when my ancestor left it over 3 centuries before, I began to hire workmen for the reconstruction. In every case, I was forced to go outside the immediate locality, for the enthusiastic villagers had an almost unbelievable fear and hatred of the place. This sentiment was so great that it was sometimes communicated to the outside laborers, causing numerous desertions whilst its scope appeared to include both the priory and its ancient family. My son had told me that he was somewhat avoided during his visit because he was a Delapore, and I now found myself subtly ostracized for a like reason until I convinced the peasants how little I knew of my heritage. Even then, they sullenly disliked me, so that I had to collect most of the village traditions through the meditation of Norris. What the people could not forgive, perhaps, was that I had come to restore symbols so abhorrent to them, and for, rationally or not, they viewed Ixam Priory as nothing less than a haunt of fiends and werewolves. Santiago's, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. We're reading Lovecraft. Welcome, welcome. Piecing together details which Norris collected for me and supplementing them with the account of several savants who had studied the ruins, I deducted that Ixam Priory stood on the site of a prehistoric temple, a druidical or anti-druidical thing which must have been contemporary with Stonehenge, that indescribable rites had been celebrated there, few doubted, and there were unpleasant tales of the transference of these rites into the Sibyl worship which the Romans had introduced. Inscriptions still visible in the subcellar bore such unmistakable letters as TIV, Ops, Magna, Mat, signs of the Magna Mater, whose dark worship was once vainly forbidden to Roman citizens. Manchester had been the camp of the 3rd Augustan Legion, as many remains attest, and it was said that the Temple of Sibyl was splendid and thronged with worshippers who performed nameless ceremonies at the bidding of a Phrygian priest. They also said that the fall of the old religion did not end the orgies at the temple, but that the priests lived on in the new faith without real change. Likewise was it said that the rites did not vanish with the Roman power, and that certain among the Saxons owed to what remained of the temple, and gave it the essential outline it subsequently preserved, making it the center of a cult feared through half the Heptarchy. About 1000 AD, the place is mentioned in a chronicle as being a substantial stone priory housing a strange and powerful monastic order and surrounded by extensive gardens which need no walls to exclude a frightened populace. It was never destroyed by the Danes, though after their Norman conquest it must have declined tremendously, since there was no impediment when Henry III granted the site to my ancestor, Gilbert de la Poer, first Baron Ixam, in 1261. Hello colleagues, welcome. See, I have bitches, I have maidens. Joke's on you. Of my family before this day there is no evil report, but something strange must have happened then. In one chronicle there is a reference to a de la Poer as a curse of God in 1307. This village legendary had nothing but evil and frantic fear to tell of the castle that went up on the foundations of the old temple and priory. Hi Rob, welcome, I'm reading Lovecraft. So nothing's better for sleep than a good horror story, don't you agree? We read a story about grave robbers earlier. Don't show me your waifus image. Yeah, I'm reading right now. I don't take showers, I take baths with my waifus. Volpo, aren't you asleep yet? Come on man, go to sleep. Go to sleep, Volpo. Don't make me come here. first red tails were of the most grisly description, and ghastlier because of their frightened reticence and cloudy evasiveness. They represented my ancestors as a race of hereditary demons, besides whom Gilles the Rats and the Marquis de Sade would seem the veriest tyros, and hinted whisperingly at the responsibility for the occasional disappearance of villagers through several generations. "Hello, Milky Cat! Welcome! How are you?" "No, football. Yes, sleepy." "It's ASMR. You're supposed to be sleepy." The worst characters, apparently, were the barons and their direct heirs. At least, most was whispered about these. If of healthier inclinations, it was said, and higher elderly, and mysteriously died to make way for another more typical scion. There seemed to be an inner cult in the family, presided over by the head of the house, and sometimes closed except to a few members. Temperament rather than ancestry was evidently in the basis of this cult, for it was entered by several who married into the family. Lady Margaret Trevor from Cornwall, wife of Godfrey, the second son of the 5th Baron, became a favorite bane of children all over the countryside, and the demon heroine of a particularly horrible old ballad not yet extinct near the Welsh border. Preserved in the balladry too, though not illustrating the same point, is the hideous tale of Lady Mary de la Poe, who shortly after her marriage to the Earl of Shrewsfield was killed by him and his mother, both of the slayers being absolved and blessed by the priest to whom they confessed what they dared not repeat to the world. Can you do some villagers' noises? Like, no, it's reconstructions of the story. I'll do some dying noises as soon as someone dies, though. Just for you, Rob. For a second, I thought you wanted me to emulate Minecraft villagers, by the way. These myths and ballads, typical as they were of crude superstition, repelled me greatly. Their persistence and their application to so long a line of my ancestors were especially annoying, whilst the imputation of monstrous habits proved unpleasantly reminiscent of the one known scandal of my immediate forebears, the case of my cousin, young Randolph de la Poer of Carfax, who went among the Africans and became a voodoo priest after he returned from the Mexican War. I was much less disturbed by the vulgar tales of whales and howling in the barren, windswept valley beneath the limestone cliff, of the graveyard stenches after the spring rains, and the floundering, squealing white thing of which Sir John Clay's horse had trod one night in an olive field, and of the servant who had gone mad at what he saw in the priory in the full light of day. These things were heckened spectral lore, and I was at the time a pronounced skeptic. The accounts of vanished peasants were less to be dismissed, though not especially significant in view of medieval custom. Prying curiosity meant death, and more than one severed head had been publicly shewn of the bastions now effaced around Ixham Priory. Hello, FBI 3206. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Get this mobbing game. Whoa. Oh. My villager impression is terrible. Ooh. 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 No, I can't. Villager's noises should come natural when reading the word villager. Let me grab some water. Wait, I finished my water bottle. Oh, BRB. Papa. I'm back. The cat by sleeping bed. Sleepy. Sleepy cattle. Oh, okay. I accidentally closed OBS on my screen. Okay, I'll finish reading through this page, and then I'll be going and we'll read someone. Yes, because the story is a bit long, and I think I want to split it into parts. So like the first part now, and then like the other part next stream. Trapidinize 19. Trapped in eyes. There it is. Sorry, brain is very smooth. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Okay, back to the reading. A few of the tales were exceedingly picturesque and made me wish I had learned more of comparative mythology in my youth. There was, for instance, the belief that a legion of bat-winged devils kept witches' Sabbath each night at the priory, a legion whose sustenance might explain the disproportionate abundance of coarse vegetables harvested in the vast gardens. And, most vivid of all, there was the dramatic epic of the rats, the scampering army of obscene vermin which had burst forth from the castle 3 months after the tragedy that doomed it to the desertion. The lean, filthy, ravenous army which had swept up before it and devoured fowls, cats, dogs, hogs, sheep, and even 2 helpless human beings before its fury was spent. Around that unforgettable rodent army, a whole separate cycle of myths revolves, for it scattered amongst the village homes and brought curses and horrors in its trail. Hi Yuji! Yes, it's Mentina. Is this pretty cozy? I'm glad. Hope you like Lovecraft, because that's all I'll be reading in a while. And yes, Suji, Mentina is a special guest. It's here to keep chatting check. She's putting near chat. She likes Lovecraft too. She's so cute. Yes, she is adorable. Meow meow. Such was the lure that assailed me as I pushed to completion, with an orderly obstinacy, the work of restoring my ancestral home. It must not be imagined for a moment that these tales formed my principal physiological environment. On the other hand, I was constantly praised and encouraged by Captain Norris and the antiquarians who surrounded and aided me. When the task was done, over 2 years after its commencement, I viewed the great rooms, wainscoted walls, vaulted ceilings, mullioned windows, and broad staircases with a pride which fully compensated for the prodigious expense of the restoration. Every attribute of the Middle Ages was cunningly reproduced, and the new parts blended perfectly with the original walls and foundations. The seat of my fathers was complete, and I looked forward to redeeming at last of the location fame of the line which ended in me. I would reside here permanently and prove that the Delapore, for I had adopted again the original spelling of the name, need not be a fiend. My comfort was perhaps augmented by the fact that, although Ixam Priory was medievally fitted, its interior was in truth wholly new and free from old vermins and old ghosts alike. As I have said, I moved in only July 16, 1923. My household consisted of 7 servants and 9 cats, of which latter species I am particularly fond. My eldest cat was 7 years old and had come with me from my home in Bolton, Massachusetts. The others I had accumulated whilst living with Capt. Larry's family during the restoration of the priory. For 5 days, our routine proceeded with the utmost placidity, my time being spent mostly in the codification of old family data. I had now obtained some very circumstantial accounts of the final tragedy and flight of Walter de la Poe, which I conceived to be the probable contents of the hereditary paper lost in the fire at Carfax. It appeared that my ancestor was accused with much reason of having killed all the other members of his household, except for servant confederates in their sleep. About 2 weeks after a shocking discovery which changed his whole demeanor, but which, except by implication, he disclosed to no one save perhaps the servants who assisted him and afterward fled beyond the reach. This deliberate slaughter, which included a father, 3 brothers and 2 sisters, was largely condoned by the villagers, and so selectly treated by the law that its perpetrator escaped unharmed and undisguised to Virginia. The general whispered sentiment being that he had purged the land of an immemorial curse. What discovery had prompted an act so terrible, he could scarcely even conjecture. Walter de la Poer must have known for years the sinister tales about his family, so that this material could have given him no fresh impulse. Had he, then, witnessed some appalling ancient rite, or stumbled upon some frightful and revealing symbols in the priory or its vicinity? He was reputed to have been a shy, gentle youth in England. In Virginia, he seemed not so much hard or bitter as harassed and apprehensive. He was spoken of in the diary of another gentleman adventurer, Francis Harley of Bellevue, as a man of unexampled justice, honor, and delicacy. And I think we will be stopping here with the reading for tonight. Let me write a message. And I always love reading Lovecraft stories, but this one's kinda long, and as I said, I prefer to split it into parts. Thanks for the bedtime stories, you have a very soothing voice. I'm happy to hear that. It makes me happy. It really does. I don't know, I guess I'm a bit insecure on my own voice. I know that people say that it's a good voice, but I get super insecure, and sometimes I think, do I really have a good voice, or are people just being nice, But I mean, if all of these people are here listening, I guess I'm the one that's in the wrong with thinking that I have a bad voice, Roboko? Yeah, very small streamer, Rob. Kissy Music and Games, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Wait, is Roboko on Twitch? Really? I knew that Kason moved to Twitch, but even Roboko? And I knew of Sakura too? Oh yeah, she's live, what the fuck? Wait, really? Huh. If I knew how to speak Japanese, I would gladly raid Raboko. But fortunately that's not the case. Maybe Kaisen, when Kaisen will be online, maybe one day we'll raid her. You helped me out a lot today at work. I was just listening to your voice the whole time. Aw, I'm happy to hear that. And I love you all, Volpo. You and all the other people that are always here, keeping me company and stuff. It always makes me happy to see all the support. Like, I'm happy, super happy every time. Oh, wait, we can raid a friend of mine, Sarah. She's one of my sister. She's a very cute angel dragon, and I love her so much. You should also be following her because she's adorable. Oh, thank you for reminding me to stretch. Ovan? No, Ovan is more like a demon than an angel. We played Overwatch earlier, but then he got angry because we lost one game and he was a bit tilted, so like he went to sleep straight from playing to sleeping. And Fia isn't answering me. So wait, let me before the raid, let me poke at my friend because I was supposed to call him before going to bed. And he's online. Okay, good. Need to bother him on WhatsApp. Okay, never mind. Damn. Wait a second, I'll reply. Okay, let's go raid Sarah. Okay, sorry. Here's the raid message that you can copy and paste. She's streaming Monster Hunter right now. So like if you have the volume set to max, be sure to lower it so you don't destroy your eardrums. Here are my socials if you want to follow me somewhere else, and here's my Discord server if you want to join. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and I hope to see you tomorrow because I'll probably be streaming tomorrow too, like 100% I'll be streaming, and we'll finish the Rats in the Walls and talk a bit, and soon I will announce like all the little events that I have in program, especially the Phasmo with subs stream. And yeah, I love you all. Have a good night. Go to sleep, Volpo. Good night, guys. I love you.